This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a
former Western Bulldog star Shynky Smalls, and talk to him about what's going on across the NBA and possibly Major League Baseball tonight as well. So more on that coming up. Also on this day in history, the walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco and a whole lot more. We also have news from the PBR, which is good news, and a whole lot more stuff coming up, like I said. Here on a Wednesday, I believe it'll be the final show of the week. It is birthday week, so I don't think we're going to be here tomorrow or Friday. Well, for sure not Friday. But anyway, want to get right into it, and we'll have a COVID update as well. But get to our first guest on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. He is the activities director at Bozeman Schools. You've been there a year, and starting a new school, there's just so much unknown, and yet you're figuring things out as Mark Ader joins us. How are you, my friend?
I am doing well. I would say I'm figuring things out is maybe a stretch because every day is new right now.
It definitely is. And you guys came out yesterday with your fan limit, two per uniformed student athlete for football, volleyball, and the such. How tough was this decision?
Oh, it was pretty tough. Our county health, in our community, for the most part, has, been pretty supportive of what we're doing and trying to get rid of COVID and all that. But, trying to figure out how to do this, just getting sports started has been tough. There's just so much that goes into it right now. Mm-hmm. We in terms of, safety, and then getting to allowing the parents to come. It was a good thing. If we're going to have the kids there, I think we got to have the parents there. So I was excited we did that. I think it's good for the kids and good for the parents. So, I know, there's people looking for more. Are we going to try and get visitors? I think we need to get things started, see how things go. We're still not really at that point yet. And then, if things get better, then we can ask for more. But right now I'm happy with it. I think the big thing is, for us too, was the whole football sideline thing. If we're going to play football, we needed, at one time it was supposed to be just 50 on the field. So he gave us 60 on each sideline. So for AA football, that's so important.
Sure.
So that was a big win for us right there, I thought, because, and that helps our kids out. We were going to be telling kids who, practice hard for 4 days a week, hey, you can't suit up Friday. I think that would have been awfully hard.
Mark Ader, our guest here. Did you talk to Yellowstone County and Lewis and Clark and so? Did you talk to other AA counties about what they were doing and how to proceed with Bozeman, or was this a Bozeman decision only?
Since probably the end of July, the AAAD has been meeting once a week, and the AA superintendents have been meeting once a week. And then at different times, county health from each of those communities has been involved. So there's been those ongoing discussions for quite a while. And then, and he did what, our county health guy came to us with some recommendations. And he took a look at what was going on in some of the other counties. And I think, he took a look at what you did and felt comfortable recommending that to us at this time. And our administrative team was comfortable with twos at this time simply because, it worked for graduation. And let's start there and see if we can, move forward.
Bozeman Schools Activities Director Mark Ader, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. And I know cheerleaders are involved, and this is a big thing because we always think of just the athletes, the football, volleyball players and the such. But cheerleaders, aren't in some of these communities aren't going to have an opportunity, but they will for Bozeman and Gallatin High. And I think that's a big deal too. It sucks for the bands, But as Tim McMahon said, that's just not feasible anyway because of all the spit valves and all that. But at least the cheerleaders get to participate.
Right. And that was good. And that was actually, I think in one of the meetings with the superintendents, somebody brought up cheerleading being an MHSA event. So Matt agreed with that. And, as long as they're socially distanced, well, that's pretty easy to do in the stands. Like, you're only going to have 120 people there. So I was glad. And obviously we've got, that crew is practicing right now, just like everybody else. So that is good. Music, there's a whole lot of issues with music that we're still trying to figure out. If, in Bozeman, marching band is very important and a very, big part of our community. So the school's still working with county health, and maybe it won't be a games, or maybe we can have an event for the marching band somewhere down the line.
Mark,
marching band, I say marching band. I got to make sure I specify with members from both Gallatin High and Bozeman High.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. You've got two schools to run now. It's not. It's not just the one. And with this, let's not forget too that the AA isn't going to start until September 11th. So you still have a few weeks to hopefully be able to maybe make changes, or is this set in stone for that first week of games and then you'll reevaluate afterwards?
I think it's set in stone for the first game.
Okay.
But then I do think we're going to have the opportunity to reevaluate afterwards. I think I said yesterday 2 weeks, but, I'm going to visit with Matt every week, and check the numbers. They got numbers, key numbers that they're looking at. And, what's the 7-day rate? What's the transmission rate? Some of the stuff and there's more to it than that. But, I'm going to make sure I visit with them each week as long as, things are going well school-wise for us.
Sure.
As long as those things are happening, then I will visit, and, see, if there's an opportunity for more fans.
With school and getting underway, and I know that the rolling starts, and it seems like everybody's kind of in the same position as far as 2 days on, a day off, 2 days off, or, remote learning. But are we still, Mark, where we were in the spring as far as if there's not in-person learning of some form, will there be athletics at all?
I think that would be tough. We honestly haven't had that discussion yet. The big thing that we're trying to do is make sure we have in-person learning. Mm-hmm. How are we going to handle one COVID case or two COVID cases? We want to make sure we're in position to deal with that effectively, safely, and still have some form of in-person learning. But we got to make sure the kids are safe and our teaching staff, everybody that's involved within the school system. So there's a lot of moving parts there. So I haven't really talked about if there's no, I haven't visited anybody. If we're not in school, are we still having activities? I'm sure that, that's a discussion that we'd be having with our board if we got to that point.
Mark Ader, our guest here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. One thing that I've talked about over the last couple of weeks is parents have told me publicly and privately that they're willing to sacrifice watching games in person if it means that the kids get to have the season. And I know that you guys are going to allow 2. Is there a plan if more than 2 family members, if a whole bunch of people show up to a game, what's the plan? Because we saw in Utah last week, a game gets suspended mid-game until people, obeyed the law. But what's your plan in Bozeman and across the state?
Well, in Bozeman right now, we're still working on the logistics of it. I do have softball going on, or it's not softball, soccer. Both schools will have home soccer events this weekend, and they're open areas. So, we're going to give passes to family members as soon as we can. And then from there, we're just going to kind of ask. Right now, we're asking people to honor the passes because if we have any issues, that means, then we can't have the games.
Right.
Yeah. Soccer, we could move into the stadium, but soccer coaches love playing on grass, and the kids love playing on grass. So we want to avoid that. So we're just asking, I'll send a note out to our community to ask them to, honor that, which is parents only this weekend. And we'll kind of use the honor system. If we have a football game and more than 2, we're going to have 2 passes. And if you don't have the passes, you can't come in. And hopefully we don't want, I mean, at that point, I hope everyone realizes that, if we have any issues, then we're affecting the game and the kids, and we just can't, hopefully we don't get to that point, but we are going to look at it, hey, we're only going to let, right now with the way it is, there's only 2 per student coming into the stadium, and that's what we'll monitor.
One thing I think that's been missed in all of this, and I just thought of it, recently today, was high school is about a great experience for all of the students, and that and with sports that we get rabid student fan bases at these games. And I don't know if anybody's even talked about that. Those kids are missing out on something big, unfortunately. But how far are we from getting students into the stands just to watch? Because we know how fun those kids can be at games.
Our fan base, we have a pretty wild student section. They've, been very supportive. And I have had parents, tell me that they want to do whatever they can to get our students involved. Again, right now, I think it's just a safety issue. I still think we're a little ways away, because you'd be bringing more kids into the mix. So I think we're a little ways away from that. I mean, and I know that they're in school, and I know there's so many contradictions when you say that. And and as an AD, every time you speak, there's 2 sides to the story, and it's tough. But I would think that, if things went away, I mean, maybe there's a chance if we keep playing and we get to the, into late October, November, then I think there's a chance if the transmission rate's low and, we don't have a low average, then I think it's possible for sure. But, right now to start with, I mean, just like we're limiting student interaction in school, it's definitely going to be done at events.
Getting ready for the Raptors' first season, obviously not something you anticipated. But you've got 2 different hashtags. How do you keep track on social media here?
What I should be doing all the time is making sure I read it before I retweet it. I just, right now I just try to keep track of the different sports. We've been lucky because Gallatin's had a couple big accomplishments. So, we just go from there. So yeah, it's been, it's fun to do. That's the good part of it, because I'm just retweeting stuff where our kids or our staff are doing well. Right. So, that's fun and that's easy. So yeah, we're pretty, I mean, I am, the Gallatin Grit thing, I actually stole. That's a motto that Coach Schnee or Principal Schnee and staff came up with at Gallatin. And I thought that was a pretty good hashtag. So I stole that from her and the staff.
Nice.
And then obviously, Hawks Up, either I created or saw it somewhere last year. So, but it's fun using both, and somewhere along the line when the 2 schools see each other, I'll probably be sending out hashtags with, or tweets with both of those.
Well, because you were Hawks Up for a while and Raptors Up, and did the Raptors fans get upset because it's like, hey, we can't be Hawks too?
I was Raptor Rain is what I was.
Oh, that's okay. Raptor Rain. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I like the Gallatin Grit. Like I said, it's a motto that they have. It, a culture thing. Like at Bozeman, it's the Hawk way. It's in the air, and then at Gallatin, they adopted Gallatin Grit, and I go, hey, that's a perfect hashtag.
I like it.
So, I stole it.
Hey, everything in life right now is stolen. I mean, everything in radio and TV, we've all stolen from each other. So, and social media.
Right. If you were the good football coaches borrow and steal from other coaches.
Absolutely.
So, that's where I learned it from.
It's not stealing, it's borrowing. I like that.
Right.
Hey, so as a Bozeman Hawk alum from 1993, am I allowed to root for the Raptors because they've got great colors, or do I have to just naturally dislike Gallatin High?
No, I think you can cheer for them. I think, we've got people in Bozeman in this community right now are facing that dilemma.
True.
We've got Hawks who have kids going to Gallatin. Ian Laird, who does our radio stuff, he's he was a Hawk guy, and his kids are going to Gallatin. Okay. So I think you can do that. Okay. It's pretty easy for parents, man. You're loyal to your kids. So once those kids put on the blue and the black, they're Raptors.
That is true. Hey, appreciate the time. I know you're busy. Keep up the good work down there. I love following you on the Twitter, and good luck this season. Hopefully we get to have full seasons, and we're talking about something positive down the road here.
I hope so too. Definitely.
I appreciate the time, sir.
All right. Thanks, Jason. We'll see you.
See ya. That is Mark Ader joining us, Bozeman Schools Activities Director. And you get the reasonings why Bozeman schools, including Bozeman High and Gallatin, are going to go with, and Belgrade, Gallatin County in general, are going to go with 2 fans in the stands, like Silverbow, like Flathead, Cascade County allowing 3. So you see the difference across the AA. And regardless of what the wannabe sports journalism people on Facebook, one site, want to think, there doesn't need to be a should there be uniform? We don't know, but you can't do it across the state. But there you go. All right, there is big news coming out of the NBA, and it's